And we're live. What's going on, fellas and ladies? I hope you guys are off to a great Thursday so far. Actually have ourselves a pretty good Thursday night football game. A lot of times Thursday night football is a letdown from what it is from a fan's perspective. But Colts, Titans, couple of teams, good teams. Maybe not the most exciting teams on the board, but they're good football teams going at it tonight. This means a lot for who's going to win this division. So a little bit more entertaining than normal, which is a great thing. When we don't have baseball and basketball currently going, at least give me a Thursday night football game that I can be a little bit more excited about. So, yay for us. All right, guys. So, Bellman and I did the members only video where we talked this thing out in pretty great detail. If you guys want it, we got day passes up and everything like that. It's an interesting one. You know, you got one team in Tennessee with a very clear pecking order. You have another team in the Colts where their upside on the points per dollar is probably a little better from a GPP perspective. The hard part is the pecking order on the Colts. It's a tough one to crack. It's not an easy one. They have four wide receivers, and I couldn't even tell you who I think the best one is. We know who maybe the most talented is going to be and things like that, but it's an interesting game from that perspective. Now, before we get into the individual plays, guys, I have to tell you about like the deal of deals that we have going right now. It's going to take a minute, so feel free to fast forward if you're not that interested, but it'll take about a minute to run through this one. We got the NBA coming back. We're about 40 days away from that. And we decided to do and offer something new from the DFS 5-pack this year. For the last couple of seasons, we've been doing an NFL-only package for just football customers. We've been doing it for baseball. We've never done that for basketball. Big part of it was too intertwined with baseball. You know, the website's limited in how many pages that we can have, you know, password sensitive and things like that. But with the season starting later, and the NBA being a big thing for a lot of people, it's probably the biggest part of our business plan. We are going to offer an NBA package for customers this year. That's just NBA. It's one of the bigger sports out there. It's one that we have a lot of success with. So what we're going to offer to you guys is we're doing this thing called tiered pricing to encourage early sign up. For me, who does all the tracking of the customers, it's a pain on the first couple days of NBA when you're getting a new customer every 30 minutes, which I love. Don't get me wrong, but just tracking it's a lot of work. We want to reward people who sign up early. So a lot of you guys caught it already. We did tier 1 the other night, sold out the first night that we did it. I expect tier 2 to last a little bit longer, but I figure it's going to be gone pretty quick as well. So what we are doing right now is we're taking a total of 15 customers for only $60. That's half off. That is a massive discount. We want to extend it to people to sign up early. Obviously, we're not as busy this month, so that's great for us as well. Obviously, just selfish side of it for us, you know, that goes into it. But this is half off because the regular full season price is going to be $120. That's GPP cash, full season, playoffs included. I can virtually guarantee you I will win you your money back on just NBA playoffs alone. We've won a lot of GPPs on the NBA playoffs alone, and playoffs are included in this price tag. On the website yet because it's changing so quick, but the PayPal and Venmo addresses are below. Send $60 to either one of those. Lock in your spot for the NBA package. No future payments throughout the rest of the year. You get the full season of NBA for only $60. We still have a good number of the spots available as it's just changed over yesterday. Hit me up with any questions. All right, guys. Don't forget to check out Overlay. They got a couple of matchup shop things up at your disposal tonight. If you want to sign up and you haven't played yet, I don't know what you're waiting for. I think the matchup shop on Overlay might be the easiest place to win money in DFS. And I mean that not just because they're our show sponsor, because I personally have, like 30 times what I had in my account since they opened up the matchup shop. I haven't won any big parlays, anything major like that. Just basically doing the bets that I feel really strongly about. I've shared plenty of them on YouTube and Instagram. My Instagram profile is down there below if you want to follow it. Just by going heavy on the ones I really, really believe in. So sign up. If you do it, send me a screenshot of your membership. I'll give you a free membership to the website is overlaydfs.com. I got a bunch of our current customers who finally sign up, and then they start playing the matchup shop, and they start winning good money, and they've made a lot of focus on this one. All right, guys, subscribe to the station. If you're new to it, thumbs up is appreciated. Let's talk about the NFL DFS plays for tonight. I'm going to start with Phillip Rivers. I'm going to go out on a limb right here. This is going to be a really, really out there type of prediction. So stick with me. Phillip Rivers is going to have more DraftKings points tonight than he does have kids. That's a lot. Most of you guys know that is a lot of points to get tonight. So I like Rivers as a captain eligible position. Obviously, these two teams are built a little bit differently. Right now, Tennessee's offense is very good, but their defense is kind of trash. Colts are the other way. Their offense isn't great, but their defense is really, really good. So you have to look at the Colts offense as being in a better spot because of the basic idea that the defense that they're playing against is significantly worse. The bad part about the Colts, and we discussed this real early on, the pecking order of their offense is as murky as any team in the NFL. If you asked people to rank their 4 wide receivers, like who was the best and most likely to succeed, I think you would get, if you asked 100 people, you would get 30 different answers, right? If they had to rank them 1 through 4, or whatever the number is. Obviously, it's probably not as high as 30. They have 3 running backs that they use, and we'll talk about one of them here a little bit. The one thing that I know for certain, even the tight end is a bit murky because I'm pretty sure Wiley Cox will play tonight. Phillip Rivers is going to get the snaps. He's going to throw it. He's got a lot of bad games this year. Absolutely. He's not nearly the guy he once was. But what he does do is have successful numbers against bad defensive teams. So Rivers is a captain-eligible guy for me tonight. I'm not saying you have to link him into the captain spot, but he's very captain-eligible this evening, and I can give you damn near 100% certainty he's going to be in my cash game lineup this evening. All right, moving down from there, this is tonight for me. I do want to double up on the quarterback position, and I'm going to run Ryan Tannehill out there as well. So what we've noticed this year is that defenses have a game plan against Tennessee, right? They're going to sell out to stop Derrick Henry. It's a pretty common sense game plan. Derrick Henry is not having a great season in the sense that he's got a lot of less than stellar games. I think the Colts do the same thing here again tonight. They sell out to stop Derrick Henry because that's a smart way to play it. Even though Tannehill's pretty good, you still feel Derrick Henry significantly more. Tannehill succeeds a lot of times because of the threat of Derrick Henry, and I like him again here tonight. If given the option, I think Ryan Tannehill's going to outscore Derrick Henry. Obviously, I could be wrong with it there. I think Henry's still a flat-out stud. But I'm going to play Ryan Tannehill in the spot right here because I think the Colts defense, which is very good, is not going to give up a ton of points, but I do assume that they're going to have to do it on the right arm of Ryan Tannehill. I think he's viable in all game scripts. If you disagree with me and you think the Tennessee Titans line it up, well, Ryan Tannehill probably has something to do with that. If you think the Colts get up early, I'm sure Tannehill's throwing a lot. And if the game is competitive, whether that's high scoring or low scoring, Ryan Tannehill's still going to have a role because he's the quarterback. It's very easy to discuss him as far as the pecking order of who players who are going to score for the Tennessee Titans. All right, next up, A.J. Brown. If given a choice between A.J. Brown and Derrick Henry tonight and you can only play one, I actually prefer A.J. Brown. Not that I don't think Derrick Henry's also a flat-out stud, but this kid, he is a flat-out, to me, already a top 15 receiver in the NFL, if not top 10. Hard to make it into the top 5, but I think he is really, really good. Tannehill loves him. Tannehill's tree of receivers that he throws to is really, really small because they do run in, a decent amount. But also, like, A.J. Brown is his guy. Not saying Corey Davis or Ferkser or Jonnu Smith won't get some looks, but A.J. Brown is his guy. He's scored in 5 straight. He's basically uncoverable. Not quite like a DK Metcalf, but moving into that category of guys who are just too big and athletic that nobody really mans up with him well one-on-one. He's really, really good. Tannehill loves him. And again, the focal point for opposing defenses is to stop Derrick Henry and make Tennessee win through the passing game. Well, I think that's a smart defensive decision, and it's why most teams do it, given the route for A.J. Brown or the chances for A.J. Brown to succeed. It's just a little bit easier of a path than a Derrick Henry, for example. So not that I'm saying Derrick Henry is not playable. He's clearly really good, and he still might be in my catch lineup as well. But A.J. Brown is a guy that I say with good confidence will make my lineup tonight. All right, next up, let's talk about Jonathan Taylor. So as we've discussed a couple of times already on this show, it's a really difficult time looking at the Colts skill position guys. Again, between Pittman, Hilton, Johnson, Pascal, their wide receivers, it is a tough nut to crack. I think we know who's likely to run the most routes, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they succeed at a very high rate. That's a tough one to go with right there. No doubt about it. Next up, we take a look at their running backs. Well, it's Taylor, but then it's also Wilkins and Hines. It's going to play tonight as well. Going to be simple decisions from the Indianapolis Colts, which, as we talked through this one on the members only video, kind of made us like Taylor a little bit more. Now, I want to get this one clear. I don't think Taylor's a must. I don't think he comes with major upside, but there are a few things to like about him. If you think the Colts get up in this game, then you probably like Jonathan Taylor a little bit more. If you think the game is very competitive, then I would like Taylor more than I like Wilkins and Nyheim Hines, for example. You can run on the Tennessee Titans. And while Taylor doesn't get all the carries inside the 5, I still think of him out of the running backs to be the best bet to get a short carry. Now, we've seen Trey Burton hawk 2 of those touchdowns lately. I need to see more of that, though, before me to believe that Trey Burton is going to be the guy getting the majority of the carries inside the 2-yard line. So I still think a lot of those go to Jonathan Taylor. And while I am not impressed by him, there's nothing about him that jumps off your TV screen. He's still, in a competitive game or a game where Indy's winning, the best candidate to get double-digit touches from a running back. Yes, he's expensive, but we do have a couple of pay-down options right here. So if you like him, I mean, let's just call it like it is. If you have great feelings about the Colts position players, you have more confidence in any of them than I do. I just don't. And I at least expect Taylor to get double-digit touches. He didn't last week, but I expect him to. He gets a little bit of a look in the passing game. So I think he's your best bet, but not a must. Last up, Jeremy McNichols of the Tennessee Titans. And again, the first bullet point's the big one right here. He's only $200. If you have desire to play the more expensive guys on the Showdown slate, which, let's face it, most Showdown slates break down this way. Not everything's going to be like last Thursday where we had a plethora of really cheap guys at our disposal. McNichols is, the majority of the touches at the backup running position. I guess actually maybe not the majority. We've seen Foreman with a couple of touches recently as well, but McNichols and him seem to be working in there. They seem to be giving Derrick Henry a little bit of a rest. What I like about McNichols is, while I don't expect that to be the case, if this game were to get a little bit lopsided in either direction, let's say the Tennessee Titans get down a little bit and they got to throw a little bit more than they want to, I think McNichols gets a bunch of looks at the running back position. Not like, 10, 12 touches, but he could get a couple of PPR points right there. If the Titans were to get up, say 14, 17 points, and they are trying to keep Derrick Henry fresh for the playoffs, which it seems like they'll inevitably make, McNichols and Foreman are in there getting a couple touches as well. So I can live with a 0 with a $200 guy, but I do think McNichols has got a good chance to get you 3 to 5 DK points. I mean, I wouldn't bet big money on it, but again, he's a $200 player. And then especially in the cash game type of position, if you were to get your 5 big money guys to all have decent games, you can live with a 0 for McNichols and still make your way into the money. You don't love that, but as like a backup type of plan, it's not the end of the world. I have won money on multiple showdowns this year with guys with 0s in my lineup, and it's a lot easier to eat a 0 with a $200 guy if you like your big money players for those other 5 guys. So again, he's not going to kill it more than likely. He's probably not going to get carries from the 1, but if the game gets a little bit of a bigger discrepancy than I expect, it's nice to have that in your back pocket as a way that McNichols could get 2 catches for 15 yards and 10 yards rushing. While that's not great, I'll take 4.5 points off of a guy for $200 and be real happy about it. So that's what we got, guys. Best of luck tonight. The Venmo and PayPal addresses are below. If you'd like to get into that NBA package before the price goes up to $75, which is, like I said, a 25% increase, this current tier of pricing may last the rest of the day. It may last a week. I don't know for sure, but that's the way we're going to reward early signups. Trying it out this year, see if it works. Best of luck tonight. Hopefully, everybody there wins some money. And at least we got sports to watch tonight, which is a good thing.